the light. Yeah. Belt, check, breastplate, check, go, shoes, check, strap, shield, check, helmet, check, yeah, swerve, check, yeah, spirit, check, go, hold on, let's go. I got the swerve on me, I got the word on me, I'm about to air it out, I'm about to purge it out, I gotta clear it out, yeah, I gotta clear it out, I got them locked up, like Cameroon in here, seated in heavenly places, whoa, calling the shots in here, I want it all, I want the healing and all, I want the blessings and all, get out of my throne, yeah, I got the principality shook, when I pull up to the scene, I got the book of look, and I'm strapped, ayy, 10:19, whoa, Ephesians, ayy, 6:13, whoa, I'm at the flex, ayy, yeah, watch me clean, belt, check, breastplate, check, go, shoes, check, strap, shield, check, helmet, check, yeah, swerve, check, yeah, spirit, check, go, hold on, let's go. I got the swerve on me, I got the word on me, I'm about to air it out, I'm about to purge it out, I gotta clear it out, yeah, I gotta clear it out.
I gotta clear it out so I can rep the name that God placed upon me. Watch the way that God changed the game, cause he made the game like he worked for Sony. Every day I approach temptation like a Power Ranger with this armor on me. That's the only way that I remain blameless, cause I'm too dangerous when he call up on me. I got new intentions, check. Time to do the mission, check. Making new decisions, check. Now I'm too forgiving, that's a bet. I can see through every lie that the devil tell me, so I won't ever go for that. And I know God ain't gon' ever fail me, so I ain't never going back to life.
Check, breastplate, check, go, shoes, check, strap, shield, check, helmet, check, yeah, swerve, check, yeah, spirit, check, go, hold on, let's go. I got the swerve on me, I got the word on me, I'm about to air it out, I'm about to purge it out, I gotta clear it out, yeah. I gotta clear it out. I remember days I was tripping, I remember days I was slipping, yeah. I remember days I was still caught up in the system. Look, I had to break out the cage, I had to find a way, I had to get down to pray. I ain't no prey, I am alive today, I make them run away, yeah. All of my prayers gon' go, all of my angels gon' go, I got the armor on, covered from head to toe, I got the spirit on me, I'm about to put on the show, I'm about to flex like Christ, make him a spectacle, let's go.
From Anointed House of Saints, coming at you with the verse of the day. And the verse of the day is the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 25. And it reads, "But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come." There's a lot of debate about which books are valid and which doctrines are valid in this truth, but it's important that we focus on the weightier matters, which is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments and fearing the Most High. You know, the scriptures tell us that the whole duty of man is exactly that, to keep the commandments and to fear the Most High. So, you know, it's important that we stay focused on that and not get caught up in, you know, doctrines and different books. And like the scripture says, you know, hold fast to what we already had till, you know, the Most High sends His Son to get us out of this captivity. So I pray that y'all continue to endure in this truth. And I pray that y'all having a good day. Shalom, shalom.
my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me, they get sold to me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me, they get sold to me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me, they get sold to me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me, they get sold to me. Me and my brothers, Saturdays, we be out teaching on corners. We be out speaking to corners, hoping to bring a few fish to the Adawan. We be out teaching in Babylon. A lot of these niggas can't faze us. A lot of these brothers we speaking to wanna bring kingdom to white nations. And we just want reparations. And we just wanna see ESAU in chains. Half of you niggas saw Django in chain. Half of you niggas saw Toya a slave. Still wanna say the oppressor. This is a cut, keep it a buck. None of my brothers is keeping it shut. Open the book and we bringing them cuts. Every baby we bringing them up. Elevation, we teaching them what? The Bible is prophecy, look in the book. The Bible is prophecy, look in the book. We've been looking at pages. Now we can see that it's talking to me. Now we can see that it's talking to we. Posted up, be bringing water for free. My brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me, they get sold to me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me, they get sold to me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me, they get sold to me. Me and my brothers, they gon' roll for me. They oppose me, they get sold to me. Me and my brothers, Saturdays, we be out teaching them corners. We be out teaching the corners, teaching them put something through on your borders. Saturdays, we be out teaching them corners. We be out teaching the corners, through on your borders. Saturdays, we be out teaching the corners. We be out teaching the corners, teaching them put something through on their borders. Saturdays, we be out teaching them corners. We be out teaching the corners, teaching them put something through on their borders. Saturday, we be out teaching them corners. We be out teaching the corners, teaching them put something through on your borders. Saturday, we be out teaching them corners.
Shalom Israel, this is Sergeant Nadiyab from AHOS. And I'm coming back to you again with the verse of the day. I'm coming from Psalms, chapter 119, verse 136. And it reads, Rivers of waters run down mine eyes, because they keep not thy law. So we get a lot of comments and a little controversy about how we teach, and we're aggressive and we're passionate. And everyone needs to understand, it's a sad thing to go on the street corners and see our people out here lost and destroyed doing things that have no business doing. It genuinely hurts, and we are passionate because we want everyone to come back to the Lord. That's where our security is, that's where our love is, and that's how we succeed. Let's keep that in mind. Shalom.
Jonathan got bars, man. He got bars. But he always making slow music, man. I want to pray to his music and meditate. He can't get hype, man. Sometimes I want to get hype for the Lord. Come on, man.
Blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post. Blood on the post. Blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post. Blood on the post. Blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post. Blood on the post. Blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post. Blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, keeping them close. Man, we got Frenches and Zeeks on the clothes. Me and my brothers ain't sleeping, we reading the secrets. The deepest you been is the ocean. Now we been swimming in waters that's deeper than rivers to Jordan. We creeping up on them. It's the 14th of the month. Bone Thugs one day late for the show. Oh. Ain't never been out, ever since Red Pen Pals. You too late, you let them in now. We like veterans, niggas that's power. These secrets only come through steady, no regrets. We walk through water like Jesus. We raising the dead, you see this, look at this evening pole. Blood on the post, Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post. Blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post.
We holding posts, chopping the doctors, they ain't coming close. They had the two strikes like I'm Wonder Franco. We're Rochelle toast. Wisdom is better than silver and gold. This water is knocking down wicked Pharaoh. Can't swim through the sea, man, that fan was too slow. Pharaoh was sober-minded, think he can and go. Escape on a starry night, Victor Van Gogh. Living good unchained like where's your Django. Shoppers down in the hood, now they wanna tango. Death angels coming close, so watch your back, bro. Watch your back, bro. We grilling that lamb, we gon' eat that. That better herb, we gon' eat that. Doing this till your how come and see that. We that. Oh.
Blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post. Blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post. The Pesach and Nissan. We found faith in Misraim. We got to be strong. Walking through water, pray we don't sing. Strapped up, boots tight. Walking up right, boy, we don't lean. 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 Walking up right, we see that. Blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post. Blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post. Blood on the blood on the post, blood on the post, blood on the post.
There we go. Shalom, everyone. I got it. I got to do it every time. It's a habit. I apologize, everybody. Salakia for that. But shalom, everyone. Welcome back to another Milk Monday. It is Monday, Milk Monday class. We got another great class for you. As you see, I'm here with Captain All Your All. But before we even get started, we want to first give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem and Mashiach Yahweh Shai. I want to thank everyone for coming to the building. As you come in the building, those who already are always diligent here being with us, you already know what to do. Like and share the room, share the class. Those who are coming in that are new, please like, share, and also subscribe. Subscribe so you can get a heads up when we go live with our weekly classes. All right. So as always, I'm going to announce a few things that we do every Milk Monday, and that's to give a call out to any brothers who may want to join with AHOS, who want to put their brick in to build this kingdom. Please send your request to our email at anointedhos@gmail.com. Also, sisters, we have something special for you. It is called the Sisters Corner. So we need you to build this kingdom also. So if you would like to be a part of this, please send your request, the same email, that's anointedhos@gmail.com. So before I get the shout outs though, today's class is titled, "The White Man, Is He Esau or Japheth or Japheth?" However you want to pronounce it. I'll even change it and say the so-called white man. Is he Esau or Japheth or Japheth, right? Okay, so Japheth, right?
That's how you pronounce it.
Is that how you pronounce it? Okay.
Japheth.
So
in the Hebrew, it's Yaphat or Yafat. So yeah, Japheth or Japat.
Japat in the Hebrew. Khan, all praises. So let's go ahead and let's get these shout outs going, because we gotta give thanks to our people, our guests that are always here and always diligent, being in class with us. So as always, we want to say a hearty shalom to Joan Gilchrist. Welcome, sister. Shalom to you. Shalom to Prospect Yaakov Ben Zebulon. Shalom, Northern Kingdom. Shalom to you, brother. Shalom to Princess Abaya, House of Aharon. Shalom, sis. Good to see you here. Shalom to Sister Zanaya. Shalom out in the Bay. Shalom to Prospect AHOS Yaquab, also another mighty brother. I believe he's in Ohio. Shalom to you, brother. Shalom to Officer Kadar Aharon. Shalom to Brother Jeremiah in NC. Shalom to you, brother. Shalom to Akmasha. Shalom. Shalom to Captain Aharon Dawad and ATL. Mighty brother. Shalom to you, brother. Shalom to Yuri Ban. I'm not even going to say the last. I don't want to mess it up. I get these wrong sometimes. I'm still learning myself. Shalom to you, Yuri. Shalom. Shalom to Brother Malakia. What's up? Good to see you, brother. Glad you're here this evening. Excuse me. Shalom to our brother AHOS Nadia in Georgia. Shalom to you, brother. Good to see you also. Good to see you. So if I missed anyone, Salakia, I would try and catch you. I've been trying to do that. As you come into class, I would try and catch you and shout you out at the end of the class session. I'm trying to think of anything. Oh, yeah. So let me also give a few announcements real quick before we get class started. Upcoming events. We have upcoming events. December, the weekend of December 3rd and 4th, AHOS will be in a unity camp with other brothers in Greensboro, North Carolina. That will be November 3rd and November 4th. If you want to know the location, we do have our advertisement that shows the location of where those are going to be and the times. But you can also email us if you're interested in coming out to support the brothers in Greensboro. That's December 3rd and 4th. Also, later this year, New Year's, right? December 29th, 30th, and 31st, we'll be having a New Year's Unity Camp. That will take place in Charlotte, North Carolina. Again, that advertisement is also shows on our display when we before class. Also, anyone who may be interested in congregating for Feast of Dedication with AHOS. We will be in different locations, but if you are interested in doing that, I believe that'll be taking place around December 7th. You can contact us through email, and we'll give you the information as to where each state or each where we represent each state where we will be holding Feast of Dedication. All right. So again, the title: The White Man is the Esau or Japhet. I said that right, Captain, right? Japhet.
Yeah.
Khan. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn on over to Captain. Captain, it is all yours. All praise.
Hi, Josh. Shalom, shalom. Yahweh Shem Shabbat. Not expecting a lot of people to get on the class today because of the title, and we've done something similar to this before, but I promise you we've never done this class, right? So everybody that missed it, that think they're going to watch it tomorrow, good luck. Or think that y'all going to listen to it tomorrow, good luck at work, because not being able to see what you're going to see tonight is going to mess you up. It's not going to be easy to retain this information if you don't get to see it. You understand what I'm saying? So just is what it is. Tonight's going to be a history lesson. Hence why I'm smiling. So what we're going to do, Knock has a couple of good books, right, with a little bit of good information in it. I guarantee you these two books he's going to give you, we have not shown on the channel or the other channel. So you'll be getting a treat with that. Also, we've done the Esau lesson before from the angle of who is Esau, obviously, right? Him being the so-called white man. But is my junk being slow right now? Already. Goodness gracious.
You look good. You look good on my end.
Oh, for real? Okay. Because it was looking kind of slow. I can see my mouth moving a little bit behind right now.
Yeah, but it is a little bit. Mine was acting that way a little earlier too, but I think
we'll see. If it gets bad, I'm gonna just cut my screen off. It's because it's starting to piss me off right now. You know what? Just for
don't do that. Don't do that. You good right now?
All right. Well, for right now, right? We'll leave it up for right now. But anyway, we've done this lesson from the angle of who is Esau, right? Him being a white man. But recently on Facebook and everything like that, I've gotten we've had a lot of questions in regards to Japhet, right? And why Japhet's not the white man. And I've realized a lot of people have this misconception because they see in Genesis the lands that Japhet gets, and then they see where so-called Europeans are today and what so-called Europeans look like, right? So they assume that these are the people that have always been in that land. So today we're going to go through a little bit of history to show you guys that that's not the case. the people of Japhet would have looked something like this. Okay? These are ancient Greeks, ancient Minoans, ancient Javanites, ancient Cretans or Cretans, however you say it, all of that, right? These are they people. This is Yaphat, right? Japhet. So, yeah, as you see, they're brown skinned people. Nobody's white. Yes, they come in different shades of brown, just like us, right? Sometimes they live in similar areas to us. Sometimes they are in our areas, because the Bible does prophesy that Japhet would be in the tents of Jacob, right? So a lot of these people you might have grown up around. You know what I mean? I grew up around some Samoans and everything like that. I happen to think that they're of the Japhetic stock. You know what I mean? Sometimes they act black. Sometimes they act like the people they grew up around. So regardless of the fact, though, this is who they would have been. This is what they would have looked like, right? Another example, we've all heard of Crete before, right? Crete is a place in Greece. The reason I'm showing you guys these pictures is because Greece is going to be a big place in as far as the topic of discussion today, right? Edom is as well. Reason being because, you know, Greece is a part of Japhet's land, and Greece is the first major place in Europe that the white folks took over that we get taught about, right? So you grow up thinking the Greeks are white, and because of the Greeks being white, the Franks got to be white, the Germans got to be white, you know what I'm saying? Italians got to be white. Everybody's white. You feel me? So I wanted to show you guys what an ancient Cretan would have looked like. And as you see, none of these pictures are the pictures you just saw before. These are the type of pottery and vase work that they used to do. This might look familiar to you, or this one in particular, because they actually used this particular pottery, this picture here, in the Hercules movie. Y'all remember that? You seen this before? So what this is actually puzzling, right? This is amazing. This picture right here, the one all the way to the far right, it's got like the orange type of back tone to it. This is an authentic Edomite, right? At war with a real son of Japhet, right? They're painting it as Achilles and Homer, but hold on. When you go into things like this, right? You click on it, you see ancient images, you see an actual Cretan, another one, and Edomite. So you can see that there were times in history where these people were in the land together, and well, they're different people. And they knew they were different people, so much so to the fact that they drew themselves as different people, right? Edomite is obviously the pale person, and well, they are extremely black because they wanted to make a differentiation between them and the Edomites. They weren't actually this dark, but the point was to make a differentiation between them and the Edomites. You understand what I'm saying? So you see pottery like this all throughout the Hercules movie, all throughout different old Greek movies and stuff like that. And this is just a little bit of examples of that stuff, right? So you've got an all Edomite image. You've got the Achilles and Homer statue, right? Here it's a little bit different. It's Achilles and however you say that. So I don't know if that's the same person. I didn't do my research on them, but I know Achilles. Y'all should know Achilles. He's a brother.
Which one are you talking about? Which one are you talking about, Kevin?
How you say that? Is that Pendelcia?
Pen.
Pentheslia. Yeah, Pentheslia.
Yeah, Pentheslia. Yeah, that's what that says.
I've never heard of Pentheslia, so I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's another name for Homer or whatever, but it's the same image as you see. But yeah. So Achilles would be the only person I would say could possibly be Jake in any of this pottery. Everybody else is an authentic Grecian, Javanite, Cretan or whatever, right? This is what they look like. You see in some of the images, they have like hair like Edomites and everything like that, and they've got black bodies, right? Because they wanted to draw themselves. And you see the way they dress, their what do you call it? Their armory and everything like that looks exactly how the Romans' armory was, right? And the Greeks' armory. It's because they didn't originate that stuff. Esau didn't originate the way that armor looked. He basically stole it and made it better, if that makes sense. So, which was his gift, right? Take everything in the land, take everything in the world, and make it his own. So that's what he did with their armory. That's what he did with their land, with their statues. A lot of the like stonework that they do, and a lot of the statues that they were able to make, they learned how to do that stuff from these people, right? They were really artistic people, as you see from their pottery work, and really good at drawing as opposed to sculpting things. But they could sculpt as well. And Esau learned how to do that a little bit better than they did. And after a while, he was able to resculpt everything that they made and make it look like himself, which is what they did. That's how iconoclasm started. Didn't begin with our people. It began with these niggas, right? So, yeah, that was just a little bit of an example to show y'all off top. You can find what real Greeks look like, what real Japhethites look like. Google's not going to lie to you. You just have to know what to type into the search engine, right? So the authentic images pop up, just like authentic images of Israelites still pop up. The authentic images of the Egyptians still pop up. But just like the Egyptians, right? Who's in Egypt right now, Knock?
You saying who's in Egypt? Who's in Egypt right now?
Yeah, like what people group? What ethnicity?
Oh, Ishmaelites.
So they're not authentic Egyptians, right? So why is it so hard for people to believe if Egypt could be stolen and the people live in Egypt and people think right now, some people think that those are the authentic Egyptians, themselves, they've been there so long that they think they're authentic Egyptians, right?
God.
We know the story of Israel, us being Israelites, right? These Edomites stole Israel. Some of them have been handing down traditions for 2 generations. So that's enough.
Right.
That's enough time for them to think that they're the authentic Israelites, right? Or Israelis, right. Whatever they want to call themselves, Jewish people. So them 2 generations, as we see, it's enough for them to just cloud their whole brains and think something that's not true, that can be scientifically and historically proven as inaccurate. They'll still say it anyway because their 2 generations told them that it's okay to say it, right?
Yep.
So
that's right.
That's just 2 generations. Your granddaddy and your great-granddaddy came from Poland, Russia, Germany, Bulgaria, and now you're in Israel or America thinking you're Jewish, right? And you believe that you've got descendants that go all the way back to David. It's no different. This same tactic that they have and this power that all Edomites have to make their brain think something that's not true, right? The Bible says they don't have this power, right? They would say, our fathers have inherited lies, right? So all of them are going to have that distinct power to just, this lie is the truth,
right.
And make themselves believe it, which will make you believe it, right?
Right.
So that being said, the Edomites have stolen every single land under the sun. Aside from them stealing the land under the sun, they've assumed the identity of the people within these lands for the most part. Not all the time, but for the most part, right? Ishmael's done it. He took this tactic from them, right? He did it with Egypt. Cush did it with Babylon, right?
That's right.
It's a bunch of, there's no new thing under the sun. The difference was the other nations, the other heathen nations that did it, they just did it. This was going to be Esau's gift, though. Right? There's going to be a nation whose power was going to be to basically be a chameleon on the planet. He can take over something and then assume the identity of the people he took over, put them in captivity under him, so it seems like they never left for real. until he's ready to fully kick them out the land with a treaty or a war or slavery, whichever of the three he decides to do. Or it might be all three, right? Which is what happened in Spain, Portugal, and stuff like that, right? England. So I say all that to say, if the Ishmaelites are able to steal a whole country, why don't people think that Esau could do the same thing?
Right.
Right? If Esau could steal America and pay $5 to pretend to be an Indian, why can't he steal Europe from Japheth and just call himself what they called themselves, right?
Right.
To an extent. Because Japheth wasn't calling himself the Franks. That's the name Esau gave it.
That's right.
Japheth wasn't calling themselves what's the original name for the Germans? Damn it, I forgot. It's in the book of Jasher. We'll read it in a second.
Yeah.
Because the book of Jasher's fake. But part of the reason we're going to read it is because it's something. Chapter 10 in the book of Jasher is a chapter that people that think that Japheth is Esau, they seem to think that you could get the answer from there. I know because I asked over the weekend, and that's what they gave. So we're going to go into that and show how Japheth's fake. Or not Japheth, Jasher is fake. And the lineage for Jasher in that book is too new for it to be real. But it gives you the original names of all the Edomite nations. That's another reason we're going to read it. It gives you the names of all the Edomite nations that splintered off after they got kicked out of Rome by us, right? So after we win the war with Persinius Niger and Septimius Severus, right, 193 AD, to create the Byzantine Empire, which when you Google it, they'll call it Roman Empire, right? The Byzantine Roman Empire, but technically we weren't Romans. We had overthrown the Romans. We left some Romans within the land with us, right?
Right.
Because we never get rid of the people that we overthrow. We're supposed to, but we never do it, which is how we end up falling at the end of the day. So we allowed some of them to live there with us, which is how it stayed a Roman civilization, right? But for the most part, the majority of them got the hell up and left. And they became these other splinter groups of Edomites, right? Which we'll go over in a minute. That's how they ended up in Europe and taking over different places in Europe. They went into these splinter groups and became barbaric nations. You can also read about this in the 13th tribe, which we're going to go into now, right? Because one thing that's important to understand, Knock, would you say that the Edomites were still united when Alexander the Greek freak was around?
God.
So Alexander has white folk united, right? They're basically one tribe under Alexander.
God.
Alexander dies, and then they become 12 tribes, right? So to speak, because he has his Diadochi, right?
That's right.
And they split into about 12 groups. So they basically became 12 different tribes of Edomites, right? After these 12 kings die and their families split and splinter and fight each other, once we kick them out because the kingdom divided against itself can't stand, they end up fighting each other, which allowed us to build rank and then overthrow them from inside the ranks of the Romans. That's how Persinius Niger and Septimius Severus ended up ruling the nation, right? As two black men that were former slaves. If you've ever seen Spartacus, it's the Spartacus story times 10. That was also a brother from the time period, right? That's why they made the trainer that brother with the bald head, a brother, because it really would have been a brother training the gladiators, because the gladiators was Jake, right? For the most part, not all the time, but for the most part, it was us. So, we're out there in the land, and Persinius Niger and them take over. Septimius Severus take over. And the ones that we kick out the land, like I said, they split into these groups. So before we get into Jasher, I want to read the 13th tribe, part 1. So I'm gonna read this quickly. I'm not gonna put it on the screen because it took a minute for me to load it, but this is literally of course you're not gonna be able to see it. It's literally part 1, chapter 1, part 1, rise and fall of the Khazars, right? So I'm gonna start here. It says the second paragraph for the first part. It says the country of the Khazars, a people of Turkish stock. This is important. So off top, it's not telling you Jewish stock. It's not telling you Roman stock because they had already split into splinter groups by this time, right? One of the groups happened to be the Khazars, which we know who they became. The Khazars becomes the first group to convert to Judaism, if you will, right? We were practicing Jews in the Byzantine Empire, and we hired the Khazars as a group of barbarians to protect us from the other Edomite tribes, right? The Khazars were right. That's the book right there, the 13th tribe, right? You could buy it in the full physical copy, like the brother Narc has. You could be a cheap Negro like me, and you could get the free PDF and keep it on your phone forever. So I saved it to my my Google Docs, and I pull this thing up whenever I feel like. So, but both is good. It's also good to have a physical book because you're retaining information better. You can highlight stuff. So, but yeah, they're of Turkish stock. It says it occupied a strategic key position at the vital gateway between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. So, like I said, we basically had these people. We hired them to protect us from these groups. It said they acted as a buffer for the Byzantine Empire against invasions by lustily barbarian tribesmen of northern steppes, right? So these northern steppe tribesmen were Edomites, right? Barbaric Edomites at that. Edomites in their natural habitat, if you will, right? So they know how to fight. They crazy. They probably eat people alive, all type of stuff. So, they wild. These groups would later on become the Bulgars, Magyars, Pinchings, whatever the hell that is. Then they would splinter off into Ukraine and become, Russia and Germany and all them other places, right? The Gazis and Armenians and Slots and the Goths and all them people, right? They split into more groups after fighting. So anyway, it says, is it, and later the Vikings and the Russians. But equally, or even more important, both point of view, the Byzantine diplomacy and the European history is in fact that the Khazar army effectively blocked the Arab avalanche in most of the devastating early stages. So I did a class on the last channel before. Some of y'all might not remember, but we'll do it again. We spoke about the Arab invasions in the Middle East and the fall of Jerusalem, right? Within that lesson, I taught you guys about how Ishmael came and swept through the whole Middle East, and some of the people he was taking out was us, right? While we were the Byzantine Empire, he had a lot of fights with us, and we got tired of fighting they crazy behinds because Ishmael's a wild boy. Even though they wasn't Allahu Akbar back then, well, they wasn't booming because they wasn't blowing nothing up, but they was doing whatever they could to go that far with it back then, whatever that's equivalent to. If it's jumping off of a cliff and taking 1 million people with them, then they Allahu Akbar, boom, and drag the whole nation down off the cliff, right? Like, that's the type of stuff they would do. So these people basically were hard to deal with, so we ended up hiring a group of Edomites, which would have been the Khazars. That's how they got close enough to even find out what Judaism was in the first place, right? Just like Muhammad, Edomite, who learned what Judaism was on his camel driving trips and, wrote it down to make his version of the Quran for his people, right? The Khazars did the same thing, only after they found out what it was and what it meant to be a Jew and the power that we had on the planet. They decided in one day to convert their whole nation. So we'll get into that in a second. And once again, the reason I'm reading this is because in a minute, right, as we saw when we started the class, right, there's images out there where you can go to ancient Greece, you could go to the people of Japheth, ancient Crete, Javan, whatever, right? You can see that there's Edomites in the land when they get there, and then the original people of the land. And they're two different complexions. They look different. They draw themselves different to show you that they're not the same people. So if the Edomites are there and they're known as barbaric people, and you have the actual people of Japheth how did the barbaric people become the people of Japhet? The reason I'm showing you this story is because the way that they did this to become Jewish, right, is the same way that they took land in Europe to assume those places, right? So, reading on. Says Khazar country lay across the natural line advance of the Arabs. Within a few years, the death of Muhammad in 632 AD, the armies of the Caliphate sweeping northward of the wreckage of the two empires, carrying all of them, reached the great mountain barrier of the Caucasus, right? So I wanted to read that point just so y'all know where they are. We don't lie when we say that we sent them to the Caucasus Mountains, which we'll read about, right? In the book of Job. We're going to pull that out. So reading on. Says it can scarcely be doubted that, but for the existence of the Khazars in the region north of the Caucasus, the Byzantine and bulwark of the European civilization in the east would have found itself outflanked by the Arabs. And the history of Christendom and Islam might not be what it is, right? So they're basically saying if it wasn't for us hiring the Khazars and having them help protect us, things would have been a little bit different as far as history is concerned, which is true, and that's cool. But this is the important part. It says, so they had the whole Arab invasions and everything like that. Moving on, it says Arab invaders retracted their steps across the Caucasus without having gained permanent foothold in the north, whereas the Khazars became more powerful than they had previously been. So a few years later, probably around 740 AD, the King Bulan, that's his name, of the Khazars and his court and the military ruling class embraced the Jewish faith, and Judaism became the state religion of the Khazars, right? When you do the history on this, happened in less than 24 hours. They had a vote with all the rich people in the land and the king and the court and the military leaders and everything like that. They all agreed on the same thing. And within 24 hours, if everybody didn't convert to Judaism, you was going to get killed. So guess what? Everybody converted. They had a big old hoorah, barbarian dance around the fire. They was spitting at each other and probably doing all that crap you see in Game of Thrones. And then they put their yarmulkes on and started walking down to the Byzantine Empire. That's literally how it happened, right? So when you read Malachi chapter 1 and verse 1 to 4, when it says we're impoverished, but we're going to rebuild, it was literally that type of situation. King Bulan got everybody in a room. They talked about how crappy their life was up in the Caucasus Mountains. And they decide we're going to become Jewish. Yeah, let's go be Jewish. And they became Jewish. That's simple, right? So we eventually know what happened after they became Jewish, right? They come down, take over Europe. And then, you know, by the time we get to 1300, they're walking around with yarmulkes and curly fries. And then they make treaties to kick us out the land, right? So that's how it happened. Says our invasions cannot go without problems pertaining to the history of the ideas, but we can call the reader's attention to the matter of the Khazars' kingdom and the state religion. It was the Jewish faith which became the official religion of the ruling strata of society. Needless to say, the acceptance of the Jewish faith as a state religion of the ethnically non-Jewish people could be the subject of interesting speculations. Now, as we see, they're non-Jewish, but they've assumed the identity of Jewish people now, right? So I'm going to close this book. How does this match up with the things that happened to Japhet? Well, Greece, right? Before this happened, when we go to Greece, how did they get Greece? Let's go and knock. You got your book? Because I'm about ready to cue you in.
Con.
All right, bet. So this is the book of Jasher. Book of Jasher. I'm gonna start at verse 7. This is chapter 10 and verse 7. It says, and these are the sons of Japhet, according to their families: Gomer, Magog, Medai, Javan, Tubal, Meshach, Tyrus. Right? These are the children of Japhet according to their generations. Now watch this. The children of Gomer according to their cities: Frankum. Frankum. Sound familiar? Not.
Frankum.
Yep.
Frank. That's
Frank.
what I got.
All right. What about this one? Who dwell in the lands of Franza? Was that sound familiar?
Yeah, dude. France.
What that sound like?
Is
Now,
it
ain't
France?
Jasher supposed to be an ancient book?
Nah.
How the hell do you know what France is? This like when Enoch wrote about the Persians and the Medes, and they're like way after him. Isn't that a little puzzling to y'all?
Hmm.
And then we go to the children of Rephath and Bartonium. What Bartonium sound like to y'all? I've heard of Barcelona.
Yeah, Spain.
Yep. River Lydia, right? We got Ugmara, his 10 families, Buzar, Parzunik, Balgar, which is Bulgaria, right? Another one. Tarki, who do you think that is? The Turks. Ragib, don't that sound like a Russian last name?
Mm-hmm.
Ongal, Tilmaz, right? These is people that lived way after anybody named Jasher would have been writing a book for us to read, right? But you see, when you look up a lot of these names of these original Edomite nations, right? Because he's giving you Japhetic nations, but then he's giving you Edomite names of these Japhetic nations. That's because, right quick, before I continue with this, the guy who wrote this book was indeed an Edomite, right? And he's writing the book from the history standpoint of the people in the land of Europe at that time. The Book of Jasher was an 18th century literary forgery by Jacob, however you say that, alive. Jacob alive. Is that really what? Is that how you say that now?
Where's it at?
Jacob alive?
I think that might be what it is, unless it's a misspelling.
Is he trying to say Jacob alive, but with an I? Jacob
Right.
alive? That's funny. I didn't realize that until just now. But wow, that's actually kind of creative, Esau. I ain't gonna lie. So look,
they take over and make up everything.
Yeah, right.
To their.
But
they put their face on everything.
Thanks. There was one I was gonna read. I don't even see it anymore. Oh, so in the children of Elsha and Almanium, that almost sounds like how the Europeans say aluminum. But they also went and built themselves cities. Those are the cities that situate between the mountains of Job and Shebathamo, and of them were the people of Lombardy.
Isn't that Italy? Wait a minute, where is Lombardy? Lombard.
Yeah. Who dwelt opposite of the mountains of Job and Shebathamo, that conquered the land of Italia and remained there unto this day. Thank you, Jasher. That's what I wanted to read you guys, right? Jasher, the great book that you guys are using to say that these people are authentic Japhites, telling you, no, they live there to this day because they're the same people that conquered the land of Italy, which conquered the rest of these places, which is why you see the biblical name, Javan, you know what I'm saying, Gomer, but then you see the non-biblical name, you know, Bulgar and Franza, you know what I'm saying? Lombardy, Italia, right?
These are the sons of Japheth? Japheth?
Well, they're trying to tell you that these are the sons of Japheth. Yes.
Okay, so Japheth.
But he just told you in verse 15, he's basing Japheth off of the people that live there until this day. Right? So, yeah. But go ahead. You have something to say?
I was just asking about, because I know there's some names in Genesis who the sons of Japheth is, and
Yeah,
I didn't
we
hear
can read
I
that.
didn't hear some of them names. That's why I was.
Oh,
But I
well,
think it'd be a good. I think it'd be a good point though to bring out before I present what I'm going to present, to bring out Genesis where it talks about Japheth's sons. Genesis
yeah, we could
10.
do that. We could do that. You want to read that right quick? Genesis 10 and verse. You can start at
I'll
verse
start.
2.
Okay, Con. Yeah, let me get it real quick. Genesis chapter 10.
So I'm gonna tell you the beginning of the names that we read in the book of Jasher are the only names you're gonna recognize. All of the names that sounded like newer nations that you heard of today, they're not
Right.
gonna be in this book.
Right.
That's because they didn't exist back then. The reason that man wrote those nations in the book of Jasher is because he's basing the genealogy of Jasher off of what? The people that currently live in the land. And he said that in Jasher. These are the people that live there to this day, right?
This day. Right.
It's the Samoan Isles in Europe.
Ah.
How'd they get there? Think they left because they were conquered?
Yeah. Just like anybody. Just like anybody. The original people of the land always get pushed out or enslaved. Right.
When did hold on? I just thought of something. All right. So look, Hawaii, for example, right? Hawaii is an island that I believe is inhabited by Japhethites originally. When was Hawaii first inhabited? Has Hawaii always been inhabited? Maybe the Hawaiians and the Japhethites in Hawaii got there because they were being conquered. Let's see when it was inhabited. It says between 1,000 and 12,000 AD. So between 1,000 and 1,200 AD, right? That's right. If we're looking at 1,200 AD, that's right when we basically begin the Renaissance, right after we lost full control of everything in Europe, right? Right when Esau starts assuming our identity as a people, right? So wouldn't it make sense if he's assuming our identity, he starts kicking people out in 1300, the Jews anyway? Don't you think he'd start kicking out the original people of the land first so he could claim it? So Hawaiians start moving to Hawaii 1200 BC. I mean AD, right? AD, not BC, AD. This is a newly established person, the first humans to visit and settle in Hawaii, right? So this is public information. Reason I post that is because these people, like I said, and I'm not the only one that thinks this, I believe to be authentic Japhethites. Why are they fleeing to the land around that time? Because this is the time when Esau is becoming stronger. He's able to put himself in a situation where he begins the Renaissance, starts to rebuild his name and his nation in Europe. And just like Ishmael, in order to rebuild his name and his nation in Egypt, what did he have to do with the real Egyptians? Move them away, right? For Palestinians and Ishmael and everybody, Judea, you know, the fake Jews, Idumeans and everything, for them to get control of Judea, what did they have to do to the real Jews? Leave them there or kick them out? So I say all that to say we saw the original pictures of Japhet, right? Let me show y'all one more time. For anybody that wasn't in the room, we didn't even have to go over the precepts yet. Nah, this is crazy. I feel like we could just read your book and end the lesson. So look, These, as I said before, these are the original people of Japhet. These are Greeks, Cretans, Minoans, everybody. Damn it. You see, they only give you pale-faced people every now and then, right? And it says Minoan in Mycenaean fashion. Doesn't even mean that they actually look like that. Because when you see the real Minoans in the fashion, they're trying to bleach the pictures. You see, like they did with Egypt, they tried to bleach it. You could tell it's been bleached, but they was actually darker than that. This is Minoan and Mycenaean fashion, and this is Minoan and Mycenaean fashion. Which picture you think look more authentic? This one or this one? You be the judge. But these are the pictures of the original Greeks when you look them up. The original people of the land that Japheth's people inhabited. So, that being the case, we know that we're going to Esau, Genesis. He's born red and hairy. We know Esau wasn't given the Isles. His first place that he went to was Seir, right? And that wasn't even given to him. He stole that, right? Mm-hmm. Everything he took, every place he's ever lived, there it goes. Being slow. It's being he stole it. You know what I'm saying? So let's get Genesis chapter 10. Read Jasher. I keep saying Jasher. Read Japheth. And listen to the names. See which names you can compare to what we read in Jasher and which names you don't hear. But
this is Genesis chapter 10, starting at verse 2. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Tyrus. Verse 3. And the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Togarmah. And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim.
No, Franca, Franza, Barcelona, Portugal, Volga, Italia, Germania, damn, Damia,
nope.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families, and their nations.
So that's it. That's the children of Japhet. They had the isles of the Gentiles, right?
Yep.
Little island next to the water, right? They invented Peter. So, like, that's it though. That's what they're known for. That's their stake on the earth, right? They make good pottery and they make pita bread for the Israelites to eat. That's it, right? They made the Colosseums for the Israelites to fight in, and sometimes were the people we were killing, right? That's it. That honestly, if you want to know what happened to a lot of Japhet, just saying, you know what I mean? We took out a lot of them,
right?
Ourselves, trying to survive, but for the most part, just like every other people, when their land gets conquered by conquerors, if they don't want to be slaves to the conquerors, they get the hell up and leave, right? That's how Samoans end up in Samoa. That's how Hawaiians end up in Hawaii. They still got isles. They're still living within their blessing that the Most High gave them, just like Esau is living within the blessing that the Most High gave him. Ishmael is living within his blessing as 12 princes in every damn place he's at.
Right.
Even Egypt, right? So everybody's getting to live within their blessing. Except us. So, but what else do I want? I'm not gonna go over Alexander because we did that before. So let's get Job chapter 30. And after this, if you want to get your book, Well, we'll get Job 30 and Malachi 1.
Okay.
So we talked about how Esau, right? Esau starts in Mount Seir, leaves Mount Seir to start conquering. Once he's conquered Rome, we kick them from the places that they conquered in the so-called Middle East and to that point, to the Caucasus Mountains and other places in Europe, right? So Job is about to speak of that event, how we kicked them from amongst men, right? This is the second time they've been in the caves, not the first time. Many of you have the misconception that so-called white people only lived in caves in the Caucasus. That's not true. They were comfortable going to the Caucasus caves and living in those little holes and everything like that because genetically they had already given themselves the markers to be able to do it generations before that in Seir.
Mount Seir. That's right. That's right.
So go ahead, read that.
It's the book of Job, chapter 30, starting at verse 5. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. To dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed. Under the nettles they were gathered together. They were
gathered together under the nettles, under the bushes they brayed, right? Because they wouldn't wear clothes, cover themselves with the bushes, eat amongst the bushes, have sex amongst the bushes, boo-boo next to the pillow that's a rock, and then sleep probably on it, right? That's why when they get wet, they stink. Because they used to do all that in a cave, genetically mutate with each other. I'm not going to call it have kids. They were genetically mutated, right? And they started developing different traits that were going to help them survive in the caves, right? Start having paler skin. You know what I'm saying? They start developing a smell, which certain books that you can read from that time period, or the time period when they started coming back to like the Byzantine Empire, when we found out about them, you could read about our historians and our poets and everything talking about how much they stink, how they walked on four legs, how they were really hairy people that didn't speak a tongue that most people spoke. They did like a grunting noise, right? That's why Esau in his evolution, they talk about the grunting of the caveman and stuff. That's not because it's something that they were able to use science and carbon dating to, oh, this man used to grunt. No, they're reading the records of our people from when they got their little stinking behinds from the caves and the noises they was making and the way they was walking, how they didn't take showers and we taught them how to bathe themselves, right? There's books and memoirs on these matters from people from our time period. I mean, people from our nation from that time period, right? So that's just a little bit of history. Y'all can look those books up. They're not hard to find.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
I want to go and finish because this goes into what you're actually saying, verse 8.
Oh, no, I was going to say you can continue.
Oh, con. Slakia. This is Job chapter 30, starting in verse 8. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. Mm-hmm. They were viler than the earth.
Yep. So that goes into what we were saying about how they stink, how they, urinate and defecate where they sleep at, and have a baby there too. You know what I mean? So this was the nature of the people. That's why when you watch like the barbarian movies, they're so vile because that was them in their civilized state. Once they start learning how to speak and they got amongst us and we kept them away from everybody, right? They start being barbarians and Vikings and, Putin and stuff. So like, they're up there as the Bulgars and the Russians and everything Gog and everything like that. And all these different type of sloths and, Danes and all that crap, right? So they've become these different tribes of barbaric people. We're like, yo, we don't mess with these folks. These people crazy as hell.
Right.
We hired a group of them basically as bouncers to keep the rest of them away.
Right.
Because you watch like the old Viking movies, Ragnar and all that crap on Netflix and everything, right? You see how they enemies, but they know each other, right?
They're all the same people.
It's like the brothers in Chicago. Y'all cousins, but y'all enemies. Y'all know y'all related, but you still gonna shoot that nigga anyway, right? When you see him, hey, how your mama doing? She good? You coming to Thanksgiving? I'm coming, but you not. Bah! Right? Like that's how I go. Same thing was happening back then with Esau.
Yep.
Only the barbarians was doing it, right? Instead of Christmas, are you going to Odin's party? I am, but you're not. And they stab you in the stomach, right?
Right.
So like, it's the same thing. It's no new thing under the sun. The reason that type of stuff was able to happen is because we hired these people that was cool with them, right, to protect us from them. They ended up basically banding together, all becoming Jewish. Because when you do your research on it, it wasn't just the Khazars that switched after a while, right? Bulgars start to switch. The people that were near Russia start to switch. Slavs start to switch. That's how they all end up in these areas scattered, and were all able to become Jews that were persecuted. That's the stories that they teach you, right?
God. Salaki.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to go over that verse 8 again, where it says they were children of fools, yet children of base men. Let's break that down a little bit further, though. Base men. They were base children of base men. So that's in similarity to when you have a foundation, right? And you start building on it. The very bottom of it is what you call the base. Anything above that is higher than the base. So this is likened to that, right? They are the most simplest of all creation, basically. That's why they're viler. It says they were viler than the earth, right? They like Captain was saying, they hung out under bushes, under nettles. They had a bunch of hair on their back and between everywhere else, right? But the fact that they were base men, they were the lowest of all creation of men, the very lowest. That's why you see commercials like back in the day when they had those Geico commercials that so easy a caveman can do it, right?
Yeah, they were trying to tell you so easy Esau could do it.
Exactly. That, you know what I'm saying? So that's it. Right.
It's so easy. We was able to do it. Y'all could do it too.
Yeah, y'all can do it too. It is not that hard. So that just, kind of gives you understanding. They're the lowest, but yet now they are. Matter of fact, what's that? Hold on. Now let me read verse 9, because this is what happened with Esau, right? They were the base of men, the basis of men. But then Job says this, verse 9, and now am I their song. Yea, I am their byword, right? So we know that Esau's blessing was to rule everything and rule it by the sword, right?
Even though he dumb as a brick.
Even though he dumb as a,
You see Joe Biden. That's a dumb. That is a dumb nigga. He's a nigga.
That's an Edomite.
Joe Biden. That's a nigga. A real nigga. Right? We the Israelites. He's a real nigga. So,
right.
But like, yeah, that's a base man. So anyway, that's basically the story. So the same way that the Jewish people were able to take the land and eventually move down, go into cahoots with all these different groups, basically make them destroy themselves, right? Like vanish. The Vikings, poof. Danes, poof. Bulgars, poof. Right? Now they're Jewish? What? It's because that was coerced. That was, planned out. It was something that they thought about doing. They sat down and had their little council meeting and decided they was all going to switch their identity, right? And it wasn't the first time they did it. When they became the Greeks, they did this. When they became Idumea, they did this, right? When you Google Idumea or Idumea, that's really how you pronounce it, Idumea. When you pronounce when you Google Idumea, it tells you that it's just a Greek pronunciation of Edom, right? But really what it was the Edomites moving into Greece. So they learned how to say their name in the tongue that they were going to be using because they conquered a people, right? Just like with Jewish. They used the Jewish characters, they used the contemporary Hebrew characters, right, to speak a Jewish language, which is Yiddish, right? So they speak their own language, assume their own language and everything like that off of characters that already existed. They created a name out of a language that already existed, Idumea, right?
Right.
Based off of the name that they already had, Edom. You feel me?
Greeks and Romans.
Then when it got too close, we got to change the whole name. Let's be Romans. Right? They changed the name to Roman. After we kicked the Romans out and we become the Byzantine Empire, let's be Jewish. Right? They're the Jews, but they're calling themselves Byzantine. So let's be Jewish. They moved down, civilized like. They're practicing our faith, our religion, so to speak, right? So we thinking, you suckers then finally caught on. Yeah. We let them start moving down here, and then they take over.
Right.
That's how it happened. So Esau is in fact not Japheth. Japheth was a brother that got his land taken and his identity stolen, just like we did. The Bible tells us that Japheth will be in the tents of Jacob. If you're in the tents of Jacob, you're subject to be, subject to the things that the people in them tents are subject to.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm at my house and somebody robbed my house, everybody in the house, whether they're supposed to be there or not, could be subject to what happens when the house gets robbed, right? So that's what it is. If Esau is coming to take out the Israelites and knows he needs a nation of his own to grow in, and you got the nation knocked, is he going to give a damn about taking it from you?
Wow.
So that's what happened. He took it. Knock is Japheth.
Right.
No,
not really.
Yeah, not really in the scenario. So like he stole the land just because he realized, we're impoverished.
Right.
We need to build ourselves up. That's what Malachi is telling you, right? In fact, you just read Job. Let's get Malachi. Let's read.
God.
So we see them move to the mountains, right? They've taken over that part of Europe, right? Brothers, we ain't going all the way up to the snow. It's too cold. We ain't worried about all that. Japheth, a couple of them live up there, but not really. So when Esau go all the way up there, he got that. That's his, right? Wasn't nobody rocking with that. Only person dumb enough to go that far was Ishmael. And, we read what happened when he went up there, right?
Right.
We weren't even dumb enough to do that. So, yeah, that's what happened in the snow. But once they start coming down, they knew that we can't come down to their land and their civilization and their community like this. We can't come as Vikings, as Danes, as Russians, Prussians, Sloths, Goths, and Crackers. We just can't do that. Khazars, right? We got to be something close to what they are so that they can accept us. So they became Jewish, right? When they go to take over Greece, you know how white people end up in paganism? You think the first pagans were the Edomites? That was a religion they stole from Japheth.
Everything.
Japheth didn't have a god. He had different religions, right? Different things he was doing with the different people he was around. Esau stole his ideas, his philosophies, right? And made them his own and then built on them.
Sounds familiar.
He heard a good word and added on to it.
Right.
Devil knows the Bible too. Just use it in his own way. So that's basically what happened, right? He takes over Europe, and then he takes over us. And was able to put the notion in your brain through school that he had Europe the whole time. You didn't even know there was ever a black person that lived there. You think all the black people in Europe, y'all think right now, a lot of you think any black person in Europe is there just because of slavery. That's
right.
What y'all think.
That's right.
Don't even realize a whole lot of the people that's of color there been there longer than white people have.
That's right.
They never left. Never got put in slavery. Never came to the Americas. Well, they got put in slavery, but not on a boat. Right? Maybe got taken on a boat and then brought back. But they weren't taken very far from where they went themselves, which was to Europe.
Right.
Most of which was during 70 AD, when we were running from the Romans, right? Why would we move to Germany, France, and Russia? Well, they weren't there yet. Duh. How do we get the Byzantine Empire after we just took over Rome? The places that they had Macedonia, Athens, and everything this way towards India. How the hell do we get everything to the left? How do we get everything westward going towards America? How do we get all of Europe without a fight if the white folks been there the whole time? It's because Japhet was already scared of us. They already know what we about. They didn't want this work, so they just let us move in. We took the land.
God.
Right? There's books you can read that explain to you how brothers and sisters basically just moved into the land and had no pushback. Once we get into the land, we become rulers with the people of Japhet, right? We even had to do this with Esau. Constantine. If you think about Constantine, right? I'm of the belief that I think Constantine was Jake. I've showed you the pictures of him before and everything like that, right? Constantine had to marry a woman of Japhet, if I'm not mistaken, in order to, satisfy the people there. So they were still around in that time once we started taking over and building the Byzantine Empire. What happens is once Byzantine Empire falls, Esau is able to take over, and Esau just does what he does. He kicks everybody out the land.
That's right.
Right?
Takes over.
So, you got Malachi?
Con.
Read that.
This is the book of Malachi. Con. This is the book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
See that? So he hated Esau. He laid his mountains sere, right? He laid them waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Sends them up to Caucasus, right? Lays it waste for the dragons of the wilderness. When you look at Caucasus, it's crap. Looks like nothing's ever grown there. But the rocks themselves. That's it, right? And a couple of vines on the rocks. But that's it. So excuse me. Esau, he's living in them rocks and he's pissed off. Gets to the point where he's like, all right, look, we got to move. So what happens? Read.
Verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places.
Return where? Why did he say return? Was it because they were there before? They're going somewhere they were kicked out of? Do y'all understand that? The word's not there for a reason, or for no reason. No. Esau returned to Europe because he was there and then got kicked out. He took it over, got kicked out, and then came back again. Right? He fell out the truth, came back, he flip-flopped. He was lukewarm, right? But he decided, nah, we need to be back there. We need to return. We're going to rebuild. But what's going to happen after they get the chance to rebuild, which we see has happened now? What are we in the process of seeing happen? The beginning of it, anyway. Go ahead.
God, thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the bordered of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
So Esau takes over Japheth's land, right? Alexander the Greek freak, Macedonia. When you look up Alexander's history, they were barbarians, right? the Macedonians were a barbaric people. The original people of Athens were JAPHETH, right? These Edomite barbarians pull up and they start hassling and harassing the people of Athens to the point where they have wars, right?
And raping.
And the Macedonians beat they behind, raped them, pillaged them, destroyed them, everything, right? And it said, we gonna move right down the street from y'all and we're gonna join this nation. So it gets to the point where they start allowing them to be in the councils with them, all different type of stuff. And they have one more war because of fighting and strife. That's how Philip ends up involved, right? Philip is Alexander's daddy. He's ruler of the Macedonians. He ends up winning the war, which puts the Macedonian tribe in front of everybody, right? Now they're ruling over Athens. That's how Alexander even gets the power he gets. Because the barbarians before him took over the people of JAPHETH before him. He built on that victory and was able to use his people, ESAU, Idumea, the devil the Bible speaks of, the deceiver, the chameleon. For those of y'all that like young Pharaoh, what do you call him? I just forgot. Godly. The reptile. There you go.
Yeah.
Reptilian.
Right?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
They get a chance to camouflage themselves and everything like that. One moment they could be a blonde-haired white guy that's 6'7" from Sweden, and the next minute they Kevin Hart. Right? So it's like, and it's literally like that. I know that Esau made up that doctrine to throw people off of him, but the reptilian thing is kind of true in a sense if you think spiritually. He's a vagabond on the earth that has the power to assume the identity of any country he decides to land in.
The real chameleon.
A real one. Right? But that's his gift in the earth.
That's right.
Get to take everything by the sword, and once he take it, he can do what he want with it. Yep. If that's become the people, he get to do that.
Yep.
Right? Alexander and Philip start off as Macedonians. By the time Alexander dies, they're Greeks. Do y'all realize that? Macedonians and Greeks aren't the same people. Exactly. They're like shapeshifters. But it's not a literal sense. It's a spiritual shapeshifting. They've spiritually been able to hide their true identity on the earth for centuries. To the point where Israelites are fighting over who the hell is who. It's one people on the planet that look like them, and y'all are thinking that they've actually become different people because they've been able to separate and go into splinter groups so much. Right? That's all it is. They've separated themselves into splinter groups and made it hard to figure out who is who. And y'all think that nobody's got a connection with it. I'm going to Google this one more thing and then I'm going to let you go into it. Sorry, it took a little bit longer than I wanted to, but had to say all that crap. Let me see. All right, look, just to show y'all right quick, just how they've been chameleons, right? Ottoman Empire. It's an empire that, when we do the research, it's the Edomite Empire, but it's Ottoman, right? It's not Greek, it's not Roman, it's not Russian, it's not German, it's not Turkish, Macedonian, Idumean. It's Ottoman. Whole nother name. It says that the Ottoman Empire began in the 13th century with a series of raids from Turkic warriors known as Ghazis. Who do we just see come from the Turkic people? Who do we see the Turks were connected to? Esau, Idumea. So Ottoman Empire starts from a war between one group of Edomites, the Turks or Ghazis, right? And Osman I, Prince of Eritregal, which is so good. However you pronounce that crap. One of them Russian words. Turkey, right? Who's in Turkey right now? Them white Russians, right? Them white Muslim Russians. The closest people to Muhammad himself, right? So we got Turkic words, Ghazis, and Osman, right? And they go against each other and basically start the Ottoman Empire after the junk is over with. How did they become, like, how did Osman become his people? And how did the Turks become their people? Off to the splinter groups. After they get kicked out of the lands that they're in, right? They splinter into different groups. One group becomes German, the other group becomes Slavic, right? You stay over here, we'll stay over here, and across this line, we're gonna fight.
Right.
And that's how they live their lives. Once somebody does cross the line and they fight, they kill enough of each other, then they say, okay, it's not enough of us to be our own people anymore. So we're gonna come together, and instead of the Germans and the Slavs, we're gonna be the Franz. Now you got three groups in history that you think was three different people because you see that they fought each other, but they're the same people.
Right.
They just agreed to come together after they killed enough of each other.
Right.
Native American tribes did the same thing. So that's history for y'all, man. There's a whole lot of precepts we could get into, but before Knock goes into this, last thing I want to say is, if Esau isn't the so-called white man, we have another captivity we have to go into, because nobody from Japheth is running America. This is what it is. That's nobody right. From Japheth is running America. That would go against the biblical prophecies. That would go against the captivity that we were in, any of them. Because, well, I don't know any captivity that was ran by mostly Japhethites. Any of the major ones, right? Babylon, no. Assyria, no. Persian Medes, they was there, but not ruling. Greek, they was there, not ruling. Roman, there, not ruling. America, I don't even know if they're here. Some of them is, but not in mass number. So Japhet is irrelevant right now, if we want to be honest. Only time Japhet comes up is when people like Tila Tequila, who could possibly be one of them, talks about how she grew up in the hood and doesn't like black people because she been in the tents of Jacob. Yeah, that's why I said the Medes were, but they weren't ruling. Cyrus and them was, right? They were just there. There was the army that was helping him take over stuff, but they wasn't the ones in control. Just like with the Greeks, it wasn't Esau really running things. They had actual Japhethites helping them in their army, right? When people look up and they see all these dark-skinned people in the Greek and Roman armies and stuff like that, they always think it's Jake. You know, a lot of them people wasn't us. They didn't have us fighting in the army with them. They were slaving us. People that were getting the right to fight in the army with them were the Japhethites. So, yeah. But go ahead, Knock. Do your thing, brother. Knock got a book that got some history in it. And
yeah.
After I read the book, well, the little pages he sent me, I said, I need the books. So check this out. Put it in your notes with the stuff we just went over, the pictures that y'all have now. You know what I'm saying? Plus all the precepts that we gave y'all before about Esau. And knowing that prophetically, in order for us to be able to get up out of here, there has to be things that happen as far as captivity and who's running the captivity for the Bible to be authentic. So, do you think, Knock?
Con. So all praises. So actually, you kind of went over a lot of what I was going to show. So I'm going to actually skim through it because for sake of time, we're already over the one.
How did I go?
Because you captained all your all. But this is a book. I'm going to present a couple of books. I'm going to try and present them as quickly as possible. But some of these, actually, maybe both these books, some of our people may have, some of you may not have. I know some of the brothers in the camp do own this book, and maybe not so much the other books. So I'm just going to go through it. But it's basically, I'm just going to kind of cover what Captain All was bringing out, and to show that this actual historical reference or this other source that we have is written out by their own people, by Esau himself, right? So who better to hear who they are, where they come from, and who they are now, what they're doing today, than someone who is of them. So let me pull this up real quick. I'm sure some are very familiar with this particular book. Let me know if you can see it. There we go. Matter of fact, as a matter of fact, let me do this. Let me take off. Let's see.
And you can get this free PDF copy too. I also have this on my phone.
That's right. Hold on. Let me do this real quick, just so we can see more of the. There we go. That's a little better, because then I got them highlighted down there. Good. So let me pull it back up as soon as I can find it. Sometimes I think I need to give me a Mac instead of this.
Don't say that.
Because I can't find my page now. I'm lost. I'm trying to figure out how do I get back.
If you get a Mac, you're gonna have to do class with Judy and Jonathan, bro. I'm playing.
I cannot. Hold on. I'm gonna do this first. That way I can find where I'm at. There we go. Okay, let me pull it back up. All right. So this particular book has some pretty interesting information in it that's given by Esau himself, which I found pretty interesting.
What's the last name of the author of that book? Do you know?
Actually, it's on here. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me get back to it because I'm having problems with this.
It starts with a J and ends with an ish.
Yeah, it's Charles. Well, actually, it's Charles A. Weissman.
Weissman is an ish name.
Yeah, Weissman. You know, some more so with the V.
Germania.
Right. And why is it not pulling up this time? All right, here we go. Here it is, right here. I don't want to do that. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. And I just lost it again. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now, so this is called Who is Esau Edom, right? Again, this is written by Charles A. Weissman. I got a few highlighted parts in here that I'm going to kind of go over just real quickly to kind of give the gist of what they say about him. So this is the first chapter. It says the legacy of Esau Edom, right? Is that big enough for people to see the writing?
Heck no, brother.
How about that?
Yeah, that's better.
That's better?
Hold on. Yeah, hit me.
Okay. So this right here is kind of like what you already went over. And we know that in the scriptures, we find this in Genesis 25, right? Where it says that Esau was the firstborn of Isaac. Thus he was the heir and was, already given the birthright because he's the firstborn. But, his mother was told in a dream and that the elder would serve the younger, right? But what I want to do is I want to go to where things start to change, right? So we're going to go, let me see if I can find the other page. It's right here. Nope, not that one. This right here. Because this goes into what you brought up about John Hyrcanus, right? When he conquered the whole of Esau. So I'm going to read the highlighted area, and I want everybody to pay attention and really listen to what is being said here, right? This is written by an Edomite. All right?
Y'all know who John Hyrcanus is, right?
Let them know if they don't know.
That's an Israelite.
Yeah, those who are new.
That took over. He was ruling after the Maccabees. Let's put it like that. He's like, we'll call him the last standing Maccabee.
Khan, right. So I'm going to start with the highlighted. So it says, John Hyrcanus conquered the whole of Edom and undertook the forced conversion of its inhabitants to Judaism, right? Check this out. So thenceforth, the Edomites became a section of the Jewish people. Captain, I don't know if you had brought this out after he had conquered them. We know that he forced them to actually keep our laws, right? This doesn't, he forced the Edomites to keep our laws. to keep the laws of
Oh,
God.
yeah,
Now,
John. Yeah. I didn't bring it up, but that's true. Facts.
right. But I don't want anybody to misunderstand that this is kind of where that like they weren't like we made them Jews. That's not the case. We were ruling over them, and they were forced, right, to abide by our laws.
Exactly.
And that's all that was. Right.
No different than when we were in captivity to them. They were making us celebrate birthdays and wouldn't let us call ourselves a Jew and stuff like that. We put them under the same persecution. We wasn't making them wear yarmulkes and zits and stuff. But if we keeping the Sabbath day, yo, you keeping the Sabbath day too. We ain't buying and selling. You know what I'm saying? Put your cash register away. We ain't, ain't no shekels coming out today. You know what I'm saying? Like we was making sure that they was following the laws we was following because they're strangers within our gates. That's it.
Right.
Go ahead.
And let's also understand. Let me finish reading. It says, thus, at this juncture of time, the Edomites were then incorporated with the Jewish nation. Let me first not let anyone getting confused when it says Jewish here. This is written by an Edomite, right? And he's using the term Jewish, but this is representative of actually just being a Jew, but he used the word Jewish. So don't let that word kind of mess you up. It says, and their country was called by the Greeks and Romans Idumea, right? Continues, but the tide turned in favor of the Edomite faction when Julius Caesar made Antipater, who was an Edomite, procurator of Judea in 47 BC. Now, who is Antipater? He's the father of Herod. And we see right here, it says that when Antipater was killed 4 years later, his son Herod gained power, but was rejected by the Jews. He was rejected by the Jews. Herod shrewdly gained the support of Rome. With the Roman army at his heels, he returned to Palestine, and after a 6-month siege, he captured Jerusalem and became king of Judea in 37 BC. So what I'm trying to show you here is that in the scriptures, it talks about how Esau would rule, or how he would have to rule by the sword and taking control, right? All these characteristics are being shown here in this book, where it says that Julius Caesar, an Edomite, brought in Antipater, an Edomite. His son Herod took over, an Edomite, and then he became king of Judea, right? Let's keep going. Now check this. Oh, wrong one. Oh, where is it at? Let me find it here. Next page. Right here. I'm not going to go over all of this, but I just want to kind of go through a few key points here. Hold on one second. Captain, can you talk for a second on what I brought out, or maybe you can just actually read it? I got to take care of something real quick. Just came.
Zoom in.
Count y'all slide.
All right. Bet. All right. It says Herod was shrewd and unscrupulous. Was a shrewd and unscrupulous tyrant, and was described by the Judites because he was an Idumean. So as we see there, right? Idumean, as we know, is Edomian. So we know here Herod is Edomite. It says Herod hated the people of Judah, and one of his first acts was to execute 45 of the leaders of the old aristocracy, right? For those of y'all that don't know what the aristocracy is, the ruling class. Hence why my name is the aristocrat, because we are Israelites taking back the kingdom, which would make us soon to be part of the ruling class, right? So he basically wanted to kill 45 people of the former ruling class, which would be the Israelites that were ruling while John Hyrcanus was leader, right? Once they fell, Herod decided to kill 45 of the ruling class leaders. Priestly line of the Hyrcanus, right? The last being of the antagonist who taunted Herod with the Idumean origin and asserted that the kingdom should fall on one of the royal families. Knock, is that you? You back?
Sorry.
I'm at the second part. You could explain the second part or whatever. I ain't got to read it yet. Where it says the temple of God became.
Oh, okay.
On the first part you wanted to mention.
You explained the first part though?
Yeah.
The green? Okay.
Yeah.
So it says the temple of God became, in a sense, Herod's temple. We thus find that in the years just before the time of Christ, Judea was controlled by an Edomite faction, right? So that's important to understand that in the time before the time of Christ, Judea was already controlled by an Edomite faction. Hence, Herod was called the king of Judea, right?
But here's the thing, right? When you Google Herod, does he say Edomite fraction leader?
Nope.
Right? So
Nope.
if you didn't have this book and you were just doing a simple Google search as some, brother that's coming into the truth now, and you hear all these Israelite camps talk about the white man is Esau and the white man is the devil, and you trying to figure out why we hate white people so much. So you go do a Google search. Is the white man Esau? Oh, I know Herod was a ruler back then. Let's see about Herod. And you type in Herod name and he come up as an Idumean. You're like, what is that?
That's right. And then go ahead. Salaki.
No, like, and then you Google Idumean and it come back as Greek. So you're like, oh, he's just Greeks. So then you get to thinking these are the people that's supposed to be there. But these people that are Idumeans that ran Judea, they're Edomite fraction. They're Edomite fraction of Judeans.
Yep.
Right? They're not really Judeans. You ain't even really got to call them Edomians because this is a Greek word. That's a word that they wouldn't be able to pronounce if they never took over Greece.
That's right.
That's why I didn't call them an Edomian fraction, even though it means Edom. It called them an Edomite fraction because he's telling the truth in this book. Go ahead, Knock. I just thought that was
and actually, that first paragraph where he talked about how Herod took over, he killed some of the.
Edom, like Idumean.
Say that again.
He calls him Idumean in that part.
Oh yeah, because they knew that he was not the original stock of Judah. He was not. He was not an Israelite.
But at the bottom, they call him Edomite fraction leader. So I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. It says, and then it goes on that Edomites were forced to be part of the Judean culture, which we already talked about that. But what I want to do is I want to get down here at the bottom. If anybody can see down here, it says right here at the bottom, it says the land was not the kingdom of Judah, but the nation of the Jews, Judeans. Historically, the Edomites became known as Jews.
Became known. Not they were authentically. They became known. Just like they became known as France. They became known as Germans. They became known as English. They became known as Scottish. They became known as Irish, Australian, European, Russian, Bulgarian, all that crap. All those are things they became. They never was those things.
That's right. That's right. Let's add on to that. It says they became known as Jews, a term derived from Judea, which was derived from the name Judah. Now check this out. Being the royal line of Israel, though they were never of Judah or Israel, meaning the nation.
So how they could put a book out there like this, where in the book they're clearly proving it's possible for people to assume a whole land and like change their name as they change their rulership, if that makes sense.
Right.
Change their national ethnic identity as they change who the king is going to be.
God. That's right.
Herod could want to be a Edomian, or no, we'll say Herod wants to be Herod wants to be an Edomian, right? Antiochus wants to be a Antiochian.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they got all these different names off these splinter groups they've been able to go into. And once they fight each other, it gets worse. This is just an example of us fighting them in the 3 examples of the name. Just in this fight, they went from Edomite, Idumean to Greek. He about to read something on the Khazars in a minute. That's a 4th name for the same people group from the same area.
Yep.
Same people.
Yep.
4 names already.
Yep.
Same group. Like that's like the Anointed House of Saints, also called the Blue Boys, also called I don't know, the short niggas, also called knocking the graybeards. I don't like. It's like a bunch of different names for the same people, and the names are so different that if they popped up in different fractions of time, you think they're two different groups.
God.
So yeah, this is crazy.
Let's check this out right here. It says, I'm going to start at the top. Yet Bible prophecy indicates that Edom would be an enemy of Israel in latter times. We see that today, of course. Now it says the origins of the Jews, right? I'm going to read here. The Jews of today fall within two main types. Now, this is speaking of who the so-called Jews, right?
They really fall into more than this, but this they main types, as it's
Khan. Yeah, because there's Sephardim, there's Ashkenazim, there's Mizrahi. They got all kind of different, like they chameleon, they change, they even mix in within one name.
Hey, that's perfect. I'm glad you said that, because
right.
the way they did with the Jews and the Jewish names and stuff is exactly what we was just talking about. They have different splinter groups of Jewish people, and they base their fraction off of the place they came from and how they were taught to be Jewish.
God.
So it's basically like they know amongst each other. If another Jewish person tells them I'm Sephardic, then they're like, oh, okay, so he goes by this tradition and this tradition. I'm Ashkenazi, so I go by this tradition and this tradition.
Yep.
But they're supposed to be of the same people, right? It's just you were taught how to speak Yiddish like this. I was taught how to speak Yiddish like this. We read more of the Torah because we had niggas around us when we was around, and you guys read the Kabbalah. We're messianic. Y'all are non-messianic. It's because they had different situations for the different areas they were in. Some of them were around us. Some of them weren't around us. Some of them are pretending to be a group that we literally were, that they, stopped being. That's the only reason why some of them are even Masonic. It's not because that was something that King Bulan wanted them to do when they became Jewish. That wasn't part of the stipulation. Some of them adopted that thought process while being around us and learning how to be Israelites. So go ahead, Nat.
It reads here, it says, the Jews of today fall within two main types, so-called Jew, the Sephardic Jew and the Ashkenazi Jew. Doesn't this name look familiar right here, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters? See? And why would it be called? Captain, explain to them why this would be called Ashkenazi Jew.
Well, they looked on the map when they were coming over here to be, impoverished and build and stuff. And they said, we're coming from Europe, so we should base ourselves off of a name from these isles so that it'll be authentic for us to be the people from this land. Then they realized, wait, because what not put emphasis on before? They're base as hell.
Yep.
They're the lowest thinkers on the planet. Right. So they called themselves Ashkenazi because of the place they came from, without realizing the people they're trying to assume the identity of. There's no such thing as an Ashkenazi Jew. Ashkenazi isn't even from the people the Jews come from.
Exactly.
He's a forefather himself.
This now, and that goes into, there are some of those who know that they're Israel, and I'm not trying to clamp down on any other camps or any other groups that know that they're Israel, but they claim that Ashkenaz means that, how do they say it? They bring the fact up, it says Ashkenaz means that they come from Japheth and they're not Esau or all that kind of stuff, and don't understand that it's the land that they were in that they overthrew and then just took on that name. But let me continue.
And they took on that name just to move to Israel. They weren't calling themselves Ashkenazi anything while they were in the actual land. I want that to be clear. They only became Ashkenazi anything. Jews, Fuse, Moos, Clues. Right. They was Ashkenazi anything in 1940 something. That's it. It started before 48. So like maybe 45. They became Ashkenazi. Go ahead.
It says the Sephardim or Sephardim, how some pronounce it, are also known as Spanish Jews. Now we know what happened during the time of Spain. I think I brought out a few books.
They stole our identity.
Khan, exactly. Yeah, that's taking us. Yeah, taking over us.
They're the ones pretending to be us.
Khan. And it says, and constitute about 5% of the Jews in the world. The Ashkenazim are the East European Jews, which were found in, now check this out, Poland, Russia, Germany, and Western Asia. This group of Jews make up 90% of the so-called Jews in the world. Now, down at the bottom, it says this: many reference and historical sources have unequivocally identified that the bulk of the Ashkenazi Jews were derived from a people known as Khazars or Khazars in some texts. The original Jewish encyclopedia.
Hold on, before you read the Jewish encyclopedia thing, because I got to say something. It's also important to note that the Khazars, like we said before, when they become a people, they're a mix of the Romans.
That's right.
Right? And other people groups that left as the Romans that splintered off. So people that became Bulgars and all that type of crap, right? This is them. But they start off as the Roman fleers, basically, right? People fleeing persecution from the Israelites that just took over Rome in 193 AD. That became the Byzantine Empire. So these are white people that are Romans, right? That then become Jewish. So those same groups that Knock was just talking about, that are Israelites, that know they're Israelites, some of y'all teach that the Jewish people are real Edomites, and everybody else is, you know, everybody else is like Japheth. Well, we see that can't be the case because the Khazars are the people that these Jewish people come from, and they're the Romans. They're the Turks. They're the Ottomans. So they're the same people. Go ahead.
It says it right. It says it right here. It says the original Jewish encyclopedia of 1905 revealed that the main stock of the Jews came from this Asiatic people known as Khazars or Khazars. And then it says, and I got in parentheses here, a people of Turkish origin whose life and history are interwoven with the very beginnings of the history of the Jews of Russia. Right?
And the Jews of Russia, very history is intermingled with the Romans and the Greeks.
God.
Because that's where they come from. They got to Russia from fleeing Rome.
God. Let's see. There's one more.
That's
there's
crazy.
one more.
This is great.
Hold on. Let me get. I think that was it.
If y'all understand history, y'all should be very excited right now with the bringing out of this book and the history we brought out today, and how everything just went full circle from the beginning of the lesson just now.
Now, this one right here is a dictionary. This is the Dr. William Smith's Dictionary of the Bible. You can find this on Amazon if you look it up. Let's just go through it real quick. You'll see it says here. Let me blow it up a little bit. It says Dictionary of the Bible comprised its antiquities, biography, geography, and natural history. Professor H.B. Hackett, D.D., whatever. This volume actually is published in Boston, Halton, but check out the year, 1890, right? That's some time ago, not too far away from the abolishment of slavery, right? So let's see. Not too far at all.
Jim Crow started by then?
Yeah, Jim Crow started pretty much right after the abolishment. They had the black codes, and then Jim Crow was right filtered in with that. But let's go into this book real quick because there's something quite interesting in this dictionary that I wanted to show. Let me find the first page here real quick. Oh, not wrong one. Okay, right here. I'm going to blow this up a little bit because this actual dictionary has the actual book, which I have, of course, the writing, the lettering is so small. But I'm going to try and blow it as best I can. So this is in reference to the book of Obadiah, right? Let's see what this John Smith or Dr. Smith wrote in this in here, right? Let's just go and see what he says, right? We're going to go down here because this goes right into the lesson, right? It says here, the Idumeans might, he argues, have joined the enemies of Judah on any of these occasions as their, I don't know what that word is, inveterate hostility from an early date is proved by several passages of scripture, right? So let's go down. Let's move it up and let's move back up here. Here we go. It says the book of Obadiah is a substantial, or Slaki, is a sustained denunciation of the Edomites, melting, as is the wont of the Hebrew prophets, into a vision of the future glories of Zion, when the arm of the Lord should have wrought her deliverance and have repaid double upon her enemies. So it's basically telling you that the book of Obadiah is the doom of the Edomites, right? Or of Idumea, right? So let's move on real quick. I'm going to go here. Nope, not that one. Not that one. This one. Now, I find this quite interesting right here. I'm going to see if you're going to catch this, Captain. I'm going to read this and you tell me what you catch in this, right? Please tell me. I found this very interesting. That's why I wanted to show this, because they know who they are and they put it right in our face. We just don't have the wherewithal to actually do the research, right? It says the book of Obadiah is a favorite study of the modern Jews. All right. It is here especially that they read the future fate of their own nation. Anybody catch that?
Hold on, say it again.
The book of Obadiah is a favorite study.
Somebody sent me something on the Ethiopian Bible and I was reading on it. It was such a lie.
Okay, Con. I'm going to read it again. See if you catch this. The book of Obadiah is a favorite study of the modern Jews. Who are the modern Jews? Who are known as the modern Jews today?
Did they say a favorite study? They lying.
Well, this is what it says, but check out what it says. It says, it is here especially that they, the modern Jews, read the future fate of their own nation and of the Christians, right?
Damn.
Did you pick it up?
Yep. Because the Christians are supposed to be known as white people, and the Jewish people are reading about their own nation. So they're learning about how they're going to die because this guy knows that the Jewish people are actually Edomites.
There you go.
That's crazy.
Yeah, those unversed.
The book of Obadiah don't mention Jews dying. It mentions Edom. It's talking about Edom, Mount Seir, them rising up and making their nest high like the eagle. It's all Edom stuff. It's all symbolism to Edom. And he's saying that the Jewish people read this book to read the fate of their own nation. So it's telling you modern Jews are actually Edomites. Subliminally.
That's right. There you go. That's what it's saying. Those unversed in their literature may wonder where the Christians are found in the book of Obadiah, but it is a fixed principle of rabbinical interpretation that by Edom, that by Edomites is prophetically meant Christians. See, they're trying to
make it seem like it's only Christians that are Edomites.
Right.
So Khabib, Nurmagomedov, and all them. By the way, I think those are Edomites.
Now check this out. It says
they're just a certain sect of Edomites that got brown hair and all that. But Kazmat, Khabib, all them Russian dudes that's Muslim, I completely think that they are Esau. But go ahead. Because somebody asked that.
But it is a fixed principle of rabbinical interpretation that by Edomites is prophetically meant Christians, and that by Edom is meant Rome. Right?
Now you can't say Rome and Edom is not the same thing. And since you know Rome and Edom is the same thing now you can't say that the Jewish people don't come from Rome and Edom. Since the Jewish people come from Rome and Edom, that would mean that the Germans, the Franks, and the Italians come from Rome and Edom too, because they're the same people.
Right. It says, thus Kimchi on Obadiah lays it down that all that the prophets have said about the destruction of Edom in the last times as reference to Rome.
And we saw the Turks and the Ottoman Empire was included in that too, right?
That's right.
That takes out all the white people on earth. There's nobody else but Australia, and we know where they come from.
That's right. Let's see. All right, let's read this last one right here. This is about. I'm just gonna end it right here because this is just something that we use secondary sources to kind of let Edom himself say who he is. Right. It says, I have several times shown that from Edom proceeded the kings who reigned in Italy.
This is crazy. The Most High is amazing because I didn't even know that was gonna come out. I didn't read that.
And who built up Rome to be great among the nations and chief among the provinces. And in this way, Italy and Greece and all the western provinces became filled with Idumeans. Thus it is that the prophets call the whole of that nation by the name of Edom. And I rest with that. I'll yield with that right there. Just wanted to give some secondary sources as to what their own people have written in books. Remember, this was published in 1890. I actually have another book that was published even in 1856, which is, and I can't find that book. I'm so mad I can't find it. But it says that Rome is Edom. But I'll use
for those of y'all that didn't catch what just came out, right? Italy is within the Isles of the Gentiles.
God.
Italy is within the reigns of the land that Japheth was given to own. But Italy is not a name that Japheth gave to that land.
That's right.
So when it says the original inhabitants of Italy, it's not talking about the original inhabitants of the land. It's talking about from the foundation of Italy.
That's right.
That would be Edomites. When was Edom? Let's Google that. Hold on. Italy founded when originally 753 BC. It became a Roman Republic in 509 BC.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander is 333 BC. That's 200 years that they had. No, he died in 339 BC. So that's a little under 200. Yeah, we'll say 20 years. So about 200 years that they had to be able to come into Italy, right? Mess around with the Greeks. Do the same thing they did later on with us in like Israel, I mean not Israel, but Europe with the Byzantine Empire. Basically come down, intermingle with us, make us think they're cool and everything like that, and then take everything down. So let's say they started that in 753 BC. By 509 BC, it's fully theirs. And this is Italy, Rome. So Greece, they had already taken over.
Gone. Yep. All day.
This is crazy, guys.
Right before our eyes. See, all of this information is available for us to find. We just have to be diligent in searching for it. You know, number one thing is to read our Bible and to keep these laws, right? We need that. We need the spirit within us, right? To understand these things and break down these things that have been in front of us the whole time. We never knew it, right? That dictionary one blew my mind when I read that. I was like, wow, that's pretty profound right there.
Kind of makes you mad. It makes me mad.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, not about that. Like, this niggas actually think Japheth is the white man, and there's all this information out there that proves it's not.
Right. No, their own people. It's their own people telling them that they are Esau.
Yeah, but it's our own people that don't believe their own people telling us and them that they Esau.
Now that's kind of crazy because they usually.
That's what makes me mad.
Well, it's kind of backwards because normally when we come out, they don't want to believe us until they hear it from Esau.
But
right?
Then when Esau says Esau's the Edomites, now he's lying. Right. He's trying to throw us off.
Right.
What?
Right.
It makes sense. Everything else he want to be. Now when he tell you who he actually is, you don't want to believe it. It's crazy.
Don't want to believe it. Yeah. He's telling you.
And so if he wants to be Edom too, who the hell are the real Edomites? Oh, they'll say it's a black guy. Esau's black. He's a Hebrew. Nigga, what? Ishmael a Hebrew. Is he black? Moab and Ammon, are they black too?
Right.
Elam, he darker than you. You ain't allowed to call him black.
Right. Wow, man.
All them other Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make any sense, bro.
None at all. None at all.
Nevertheless, that's the lesson. I don't got nothing else. Because I didn't want to make this a precept filled lesson because we gave y'all precepts the last 2 times we did Esau. Ain't that many precepts I can give you that's gonna be different than this for milk.
Right.
Like Genesis 25, First Maccabees 1, Alexander, Psalm 37,
Right.
right? History on Septimius, Job 30, Malachi 1, Romans 9:13, Job 9:24, 2nd Ezra 6, Ezekiel 35, Ezekiel 25. It's the book of Obadiah.
Right.
Amos, chapter 1.
Yep.
Ain't too much that just goes right into Esau than what we already gave y'all. So
we gave you a bonus. Gave you a bonus with some of the secondary sources, right?
You got secondary sources to go with the precepts. Now you got extra biblical sources that you could go into. He gave you the book. You could go back, rewind the video, pause it, screenshot it, take a picture, upload it on Amazon and find the book, whatever, however you do your thing. And then, use the information to teach somebody.
That's right.
That's what we're here for. I don't waste my Monday nights when I could be roller skating or something like that. You know what I mean? It's $1 on Mondays. I'll be here with y'all. Like
$1 roller world, huh?
Crazy. But yeah, so I like the roller skate. But that's basically the lesson. Hope y'all enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Esau is not Japheth. The white man is not Japheth. Esau is the white man and the devil that the Bible speaks of. And the white man is Germany, France, Russia, Italy, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, Ukraine, Australia, England, Scotland, all them places that they took over, the Netherlands, right? So, yeah. Hey, hope y'all like the lesson. But yeah, Malak, I think you the one that asked, right? Them brothers, I ain't gonna call them brothers. Them dudes that be wrestling bears and stuff. I don't think they're Japheth. That's the Edomite thing. I ain't never seen no Japheth in any history book I ever read that just goes outside to wrestle bears. But Esau, being a cunning hunter, I think that would be something he does. So, yeah, I think they good at wrestling and they all got cauliflower ears and nice beards because they're Edomites. You know what I said?
Right.
So,
absolutely.
All right, y'all. Not gotta go to bed, so
you know I gotta do it. You gotta get the roar. Gotta get a lion roar, right? All praises to the Most High. Right? I hope everyone was enlightened with tonight's class. Please do look when we bring these classes out. Don't just keep them to yourself. Go over these classes with your family and also share them with your friends and family, right? Because that's our goal is to get this message and to get this information, to get this knowledge, to get this scholarly work out to our people so they can find out who they are and they can somehow realize that we are the people, we are the chosen people of the Most High God, right? And we're out here trying to reach so we can get the kingdom back because we see all the crazy stuff going on in the world right now today. You got war in the so-called Middle East. You got war in so-called Israel, the land of Israel, with the Palestinians, with the Israeli or the Jewish, wish they was a Jew, people. And we're in the last days. So time is short. It's time to get yourself right. Come back to the Most High God. Come back to these commandments. All right. So all praises for that. Hope everyone was heavily enlightened. But before we go ahead and end the class, I want to give shout outs to those who came in after class. They weren't here on time for class, but that's all right. That's all right. I'm going to still give you a shout out before we go ahead and end this. Matter of fact, I'm still writing names down because I'm still starting to see people comment now, right? So here we go. We are going to say, I'm going to say shalom to Officer Shemaiah. I'm going to say shalom to Be Like Ants, Shalom to Officer Boaz. Shalom to Nazar 12. Shalom to Captain Yahawada. Shalom to AHOS Kodash. Shalom to Mr. Batiste. Shalom to Brother John Allen. Shalom to Coach CR 617. Shalom to Soldier Antonio. Shalom to Sister Abaya the Humble. Shalom to I Am Isaiah. Shalom to Sister Walina. I hope I said that right. And shalom to Eskimo Duress. Eskimo Duress. Shalom to everyone for coming. Oh, we got one more. It says answer. Let me put this up because he looks like he's asking. I don't know if he's asking. Shalom to you, Fourth Tribe. Shalom, brother. Is he asking a question or did he say answer one of my questions?
He said that we answered one of his questions. He forgot to add.
Count all praise to the Most High.
What's Aharon saying?
We warn in America, Khan.
Okay, Khan.
That's right. Oh, just a quick note. If anyone is wanting to, it's going to be in the Midwest area. We are going to have some brothers in Chicago, Yahweh willing, this weekend with a unity camp with some of the other camps. I know HOI, WFI, AHOS, us, and other camps will be out this weekend in Chicago, bringing out the word of the Lord. We do know that there's some issues going on in Chicago, so pray for us.
Y'all saw what just happened with the Palestine march and stuff. We have brothers there in the midst of that, so
that's
probably going to be crazy again this weekend. I would get out there, help the brothers teach the word.
That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying? Make your forehead hard against Ishmael.
That's right. All day. So if anyone is able to attend in that area, please join us. Yahweh willing, I will be there with some of the other brothers to support our brother Officer Yawasap, who is in Chicago. We will be there with him this weekend, Yahweh willing. Okay, with that, we're going to get to Daniel 7:18, and we're going to let y'all go and get y'all rest for the night. And let me pull it up. I don't know why I didn't pull it up earlier. Should have had it out already. I'm slow today.
I got these notes, man. So hope y'all got these notes for this lesson today, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I am not doing this one again. If y'all don't watch this video, if they delete this video,
that's your
whoever didn't see it gonna be ass out.
Right. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Khan. Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Giving all praises again to the Most High. Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I am Officer Knock.
Captain All, the aristocrat.
This is another Milk Monday. We are the Anointed House of Saints, and we are saying Shalom.
Shalom, yeah.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, 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 black music, black music, black music, black music, what up, black music, black music.
Shalom, Yasha Allah, Yahweh Hashem Yasha Barakatam. Yahweh here coming with the verse of the day. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse number 1. It says, love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. What is this righteousness, right? It's telling you to love righteousness. First of all, let's establish that. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God, as he has commanded us. The righteousness is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, all the law, statutes, and commandments, right? So it's telling you that be judges, right? The saints, who are the judges of the earth, right? To love righteousness, right? And seek the Most High with the simplicity of heart, right? With all your heart, right? So focus on him, all right? Kwame Yashala.